So we've got a little panel made up. I guess you can see it right there. We cut it out, put our bends in it, kind of guesstimated. It kind of fits better than I thought it was going to. So that's that. We will go around here and trace these outer edges and cut the excess. So we'll come up through here, toot, 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 toot. And then what we'll probably do is we're gonna push this back up. And I'm thinking it's pretty close to where we've already welded. We'll push it up, mark the firewall, and then we'll trim off this panel to make it flush on the back. Then we'll weld everything in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See if y'all can see the inside. There's the inside, so you can see the white is our new panel, and then this old stuff back here. Once we make our marks, we're going to cut that off, so we'll just have a flush thing in there. That's what it's going to be like right there, if that makes any sense. So we got the firewall cleaned up just a little bit more. Got rid of all this excess BS we had been up, cut it off flush. So this is what we're going to be bringing our plate down to weld to, is this seam right here. And then these we had to cut reliefs so the metal could stretch how it wants to. So we'll weld these up. That one's a little thick, but we'll weld these up, and yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Got this big old hole sitting here. It's hot and the fans are running, so hopefully y'all can hear me pretty decent. We've got the firewall welded up and the panel tacked in. Welded our seams up, all that good stuff. Got our panel tacked in where she's going to be. Not the prettiest welds, but it is what it is. They're going to work. They look kind of ugly, but nothing a grinder won't fix. So now, got a transmission sitting under the truck, and we're going to set the engine in, both the transmission up, and see what we're going to do about a crossmember. So we're back on the rollback project. Let's get a quick update of where we're at. Got the engine in, as you can see, and then we got the NV5600 in as well. Now that was aggravating. So went ahead and pulled all the interior out, pulled the rubber matting up. We need to get the trans tunnel cover off so we could set the transmission in. Now it is going to be sitting back about 3 inches further than the original, so the center is here. The center is going to be right at the back or somewhere back here, so we'll have to cut this, weld that. Nothing too major. So at the same time, to make this transmission fit, y'all told me and you told me and you told me, and I didn't want to listen. We have put a 1.5 inch body lift. Otherwise, I was going to have to cut the floor and raise the floor, which, if that's what needs to be done, not a big deal. So let's take a look at the body lift. So there is our body lift, a 2x4. That was actually just to get a rough idea. So we've got these 1.5 inch spacers that we're going to be running, and it's going to lift this cab up 1.5 inches, which should give us enough clearance for our transmission and help with our downpipe off of our turbo. Then we have also got a new body bushing set to go on the truck. Hopefully that'll give us a little bit more height maybe. They need replaced, so we'll be doing that. But today's main project is building the crossmember. And as y'all can see, we had a rainstorm come through and it flooded the shop. Apparently the rollback bed is tilted down towards the front a little bit. But anyways, we've got our drive shaft angles figured out. So everything's a little wonky looking right now. The jacks have let down. But we needed to get our driveline angles right before we build our crossmember for our transmission, because that is going to affect everything downstream. And we've got that. Let's look at our angles. So if you go to spicerparts.com, they have got a driveline operating angle calculator. You can put all your measurements in. You will use one of these little fancy degree finders. It's magnetic. Amazon, they're like 12 or 15 bucks. I'll put a link in the description. But anyways, put all your stuff in, and then you can get your operating angles. And ideally, you want to be under 3 degrees. So our middle U-joint is a little higher than we want, but we can raise our support, our hanger bearing support, and that should fix that and put it perfect. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Tom Wood's Custom Drive Shafts. So their website is 4X Shafts or 4xshaft.com. These guys right here, specifically Sean, when I was dealing with all of my drive shaft angles on that bad boy, shot him a letter, sent me some reference material how to properly measure everything, and was more than helpful going over my angles with me to make sure I was doing everything right. If you've been following the shorts, you know it was a late night the other night, and I was thinking one-piece shaft. Obviously, we've got a two-piece shaft, and Sean was kind enough to go through with me over it and explain different stuff and cleared my mind. You know, you get on a certain process in your mind and you just kind of get stuck there. And so super helpful people. If y'all need anything, I would definitely check them out. They do all kinds of drive shaft stuff, U-joints, cardan joints, double cardan joints. Check them out. Great products, great service. I'm not even a customer, and they went out of their way. So I can't say enough about them. But anyways, I've also got some more information from Spicer as far as drive shaft angles for, you know, 2 shafts, 3 shafts, 1 shaft. I will put all that junk in the description. That way we'll have all that to reference if you're needing that. Because before you set your transmission cross member, you want to make sure that you've got your drive line angles right, because you may have to raise or lower that transmission. So I guess if you set it a little too low, that's not too bad because you can shim your transmission up. But if you set it too high and then you start having drive line vibrations and you realize, oh, I need to fix my angle on my transmission, now you've got to redo your cross member. So we've got that figured out. Now let's start cutting some stuff up and see if we can't build us a cross member. So here's the cross members we're going to work with and see if we can make them work. We've got our original Ford one, then we've got the one out of the Dodge. If we're going to use one out of the Dodge, we'll have to build brackets coming off the side of the frame. It is what it is. So we're going to see if we can get lucky on the Ford one. It's going to be close because our transmission is sitting where she needs to sit, and you can see how much further down it is. So I'm afraid the Ford cross member is not going to have enough drop to it. But we're going to give it a shot and see what it says. Alright, so I don't know how well the camera's showing that, but we're sitting right at the bottom of it. So that's not going to work out for us. Pretty daggone close, but not close enough. We need to go up another inch or two to make it work. So let's pull that out. We'll get some more jack stands, and we will set the Dodge cross member in there and kind of see what we're working with. Alright, so our Dodge cross member is looking like a better option. We're going to get the laser level out and make sure that the transmission is centered. We're in a straight line with the rear end to make sure that we're not off side to side. I feel like it's probably pretty close, but I'm not sure. And then what we'll do is we'll probably build brackets to come down off this frame to here, and then we'll use the original bolt holes on the Dodge cross member to hold it. I think we've got some 3/8 steel outside that should be enough. We'll have to look into it a little bit more, but probably I'll angle y'all up. Probably what will happen is we'll come all the way down here, and we'll have 4 bolts holding it here. Probably have a bolt or 2 holding it on the bottom of the frame, and then it'll just swing out to here for our bolts to go through. And then we'll probably put a 90-degree bracket on the inside of this frame that bolts to it too, to kind of sandwich it and give a little bit more strength. That way you're not relying on just trying to pull in this frame a certain way. So we'll have to do a little bit of measuring and get this rigged up and see what we come up with. So we got our laser level out. We've got it centered up on the pinion, and we've also got it centered up on the output shaft on the transmission to make sure we've got everything in line the best we can. Now we need a reference point in between the two to make sure we're going straight and that we're just not making an angle line up. So this may not be proper, but what we did, we measured our carrier bearing hanger, and 3 7/8 inches ended up being dead center of it. So we put a mark. Now if we cover our laser up, you can see our Sharpie mark, laser. So it's pretty daggum close, and that's without me moving the engine any. So I feel like we're in a pretty good place. So now the goal is we are going to lift this cross member up until we've got our 5 degrees on our output shaft, and then we'll make sure it's level this way and this way. We'll get that stationary on jack stands with shims, whatever we need, and then we can start building our bracket to come off the frame down to here. So catch y'all some wild camera angles. We're basically going to build a plate that's going to sit like this and drill 2 holes in it, and these bolts will run through it, and then we'll brace it on the back side and everything else. So a lot easier said than done, but we'll get all that leveled up and see if we can't find us some material to start making the cross member. If you notice me taking measurements of our brackets here, it's because I want to go ahead, we're going to have a skin on the outside, we're going to box this in, but I want to lay me some welds on the inside. So I took my torch, I cleaned these with brake cleaner, some other stuff. I took my torch to get rid of any moisture or anything else that could possibly burn off all the cutting oil we've been using. So hopefully that's cleaned it up a little bit for me to weld. But I went ahead and took measurements, that way when I lay my welds, I can go back and double check and make sure it hasn't drawn in or drawn out, because the last thing you want to do is weld it all up, box it in, then you go to put it on the truck and it don't fit no more. So with that being said, I think we're good. We can go ahead and start laying some welds, and then we'll come back, cut our plates to go on the outside, and put it back together. Not the prettiest welds, but I think they'll hold up. Let's take a look at these body mounts. This is how it's going to be sitting in your truck. This is going to be above the frame. This is going to be below the frame. Your bolt comes down through the cab into this. So we don't have the puller, and I don't feel like going back to town to get all thread. So if you do not have all thread, what you can do is take your bolt out. This one we've used a few times. And we're just going to set it in there, and then we're going to knock the piss out of this top side. And what we hope for is that it will drive this piece out of the bottom. Now, 2 swings, they come out of the driver front pretty easy. The rear cab mount ended up cutting it right through here with the sawzall. So a puller is ideal, but if you do not have a puller, give us a try knocking it out. Let's go see if we can knock the other ones out. See if I can get y'all a little bit of a camera angle without me blocking everything. I probably will. I've got my rear cab bolt in the front because I already have this cab raised 1.5 inches to clear our transmission over here. So I'm just going to drop it down in the hole. And then what I'm gonna try to do is hit this bad boy with this hammer without warping everything else around it. She's not moving. She went out a little bit. Sawzall got her hand earlier, so it's a little tender. Let's look underneath and see what we got. Alright, so I manned up a little bit more and hit it a few more times. And she came out. Now we did drive that bolt down in there, so when I catch my breath, we will put a socket on the top side, wrench down here, take that loose, and then we'll pick the cab back up and take the top half out, and then we'll try to do the same on the rear. So just a quick update to where we are at. We've got our 1.5 inch body spacers sitting there. So let's look inside. We've got a pretty decent amount of room between our transmission and our floor fan. We were waiting on some bolts to come in to finish bolting down the body. Got our radiator support set on with our spacers. She's a pretty tight fit. We may end up cutting right here and bringing this radiator support down to give us a little bit more room, because we have got to fit all this junk in there if it will fit. So that's where we're currently at. As you can see, she's pretty tight, especially when the fan is on. So it's time to do some measuring, thinking, cutting, and then repeat that process a few times. But that's where we're at right now. So hopefully y'all have enjoyed this video. I know I've been trying to get most of the important stuff in the video, so if you have questions, put them in the comments. And as always, hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching, and catch you in the next one.